You don't get it because you've never done it.
Mm.
But when your husband dies, everything gets thrown on you. And now your responsibility. It's not going to fall, if it breaks or falls down, it's not going to be on you. It's going to be on me. Okay. So I have to take on the responsibility. But now I'm realizing that I don't have to take on the whole responsibility.
It can be shared.
So,
hi, everybody. Welcome to today's Vibe Code show. And yes, we used to be the Vibe Vault, but that name got paid by somebody else before I can get to it. So we're not just talking about men's mental health today, everybody. We are talking about what it looks like when two people start to heal together. Yes, couples therapy and all that stuff. When Bill and Kris Knight invested in their inner work, it didn't just change them individually. It actually changed their marriage, their families, and every single thing around them. So together today, we're all going to explore what happens when partners lean inward, confront wounds, and rebuild from that place, that place where couples actually start to look and sound healthy and feel great. That place, what that looks like when it starts to heal and come out. So let's welcome Bill and Kris Knight. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for coming to my show today.
Hi, Kris.
hi.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, we're going to get started real quick and we're just going to jump in and you both can answer this next question if you want. But before you guys did the inner work, how would you describe the versions of yourselves that showed up in the marriage in like what kind of fears, what your defense mechanisms were, the wounds that were being expressed? What did that look like for you guys?
Overthinking.
We're both horrible overthinkers.
Yeah.
Good.
Triggers, thinking that each other was going to be what we've lived in the past, and talking through everything,
Right.
being open, and talking through it.
That was the healed version. Was that the healed version?
Yeah,
Or the
that
version
was
before?
healing.
Right.
Yeah, that was healing.
The version
from the version
before,
before.
Very, very short fuse.
Yeah.
Quick temper. Jump to conclusions. Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
You can't do that and be successful.
No.
Finally had enough and decided to take care of me so I can take care of her and us.
And me taking care of me so I can take care of him and take care of us.
Yes.
That's neat.
Goes together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm experiencing those same things of people who have not worked on their mental health, who hear what they want to hear out of their wounds. They're hearing from their wounds, from their broken self, and they point that to your words, and that's not what you kind of said, and that's what you're basically describing right there, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Our current is not our past.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that we have to remind each other, hey, I'm not so-and-so.
Yes, I'm not so-and-so.
So we are not our previous, we are now.
Yeah.
And I started 3.5 years ago with therapy.
Boy, and mine went back 8 years ago, starting with therapy and going to therapy and having things burst out that I didn't even know were there. And counselors going, did you even realize that you're not healed from that yet? It's like, no, I never even expected that to happen.
And do you remember in those moments though how your body felt as soon as you expressed it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. On guard, fight mode. Yeah. It was never fight or flight. It was fight. Yeah. Fight mode all the time. Never relax, never give an inch. Yeah.
Survival mode
all the time.
Just living day to day, hour to hour, sometimes just surviving, not living.
Right.
So constantly, there's a constant need to explain what happened and saying, wait a minute, we need to back up on this. No, that's not what happened. You're thinking it's this and it's not. And you're constantly in defensive mode, and then you have to work on it and get to the point now of saying, doesn't matter anymore, not apologizing for anything that I didn't do.
Right.
And knowing exactly what happened because I've done the work.
Do you guys
go
ahead. And now? Do you guys recognize
the healthy side? Yeah.
We got delays.
Go
That's
ahead,
okay.
Go ahead,
That's
Kris.
okay. I was just gonna say, do you guys recognize some of the blind spots that you were hanging on to back then that created the weakness?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Go first on
Yeah.
this. I had a lot of childhood trauma.
Mm,
Divorced parents seeing things that 8, 10-year-old kids should never see.
hmm
And as I was going through my own therapy, I realized most of my problems in adulthood stem from that 10-year-old little boy, abandonment,
Yeah.
just survival mode.
hmm
And once you understand, you take a step back and think, okay, this is not the way life's supposed to be, and we fix it. We work on it. It's a work in progress every day.
Oh, for the rest of
I
our
mean,
lives,
we're
right?
good.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Get out of survival mode and enjoy. And every now and then, the brain has that little switch,
Yeah.
that survival mode, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not there. And we have full conversations. Just
Are you
talk through it. Don't
are
yell.
you finding, you guys, that now that you've done the work, let me just ask you, do you find that you need to be right now, or do you find that you prefer to hear the other side?
Oh, definitely prefer to hear the other side.
Yeah, because I'm
We-
right.
And I'm not right.
And
We don't need to be right
it's
all the time.
it's a mutual conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Hear the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there is no right or wrong,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
and we just
Yeah.
acceptance is huge.
And safe.
Safe.
Feeling like we're both in a safe spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we can talk.
Yeah.
We're in a safety zone. We don't have to worry about, is the other person going to jump down my throat? Is the other person going to tell me how wrong I am or how bad I am? And
Yeah.
unacceptance, where we have acceptance for each other, and we don't have to be right. And we're in a safe spot. So where a couple should always be in a safe spot with each other, you know?
And does it even matter if both of you guys are aligned with the same idea, or can you have different ideas now? Because I know for a lot of people, it's like a fight when you're not healed. It tends to be a fight if somebody's not believing what you believe or not saying the same words as you say, or whatever the case, because it feels like an attack. Is that the same feeling for you now?
It doesn't matter if we have different opinions.
So
No,
Right.
because you learn just from listening to somebody else's opinion, you
Yeah.
know? Just because you've done it this way your whole life doesn't mean you can't listen to another opinion.
we've come across that.
Oh, yeah.
But both going both ways.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Oh,
just because it's always been done that way
Mhm.
doesn't mean it has to continue.
yeah.
Tweak it
Yeah.
if you need to, and if the old
Yeah.
way works, so be it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's new to this out in the country.
Yeah.
And even though I have done it the
Mhm.
same way for 20 years, I am open and excited to hear his ideas about how he thinks and how it could be done. We ran into a little bit of a conflict when we were putting the pool cover on. Why don't we try it this way? And it's like, oh, and I don't want to cut him off at the knees. I don't, because I don't want to break that in him. He's still learning and he still has his own ideas. But if I've already done it that way and found out it didn't work, then I want to be able to say, it don't work that way. Trust me, it's not going to.
Yeah.
This is what's going to end up happening.
And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, and that's perfectly okay. So
Yeah. Oh, I love
we
that.
both learned to take constructive criticism from each other.
yeah, yeah,
Direct constructive criticism.
yeah.
And first it might hit differently, a little harder than it might be, maybe should, but we talk through it.
Yeah.
And it's a done deal.
It's a little bit harder for me because I'm more of a tried and true. I've already done it that way. This works best. And I'm still working on going, okay, listen, Kris, close it and listen. Because he might have a better way of doing that, a different idea on how to do it. And I'm a little bit hard-headed in that, but he is very good at saying, okay, stop. Take my arms, not in a bad way.
Not physically.
Not in a physical bad way.
Let's
He
fix
will
that right
hold
now.
on to me
Yeah.
and he'll go, listen, look at me. And I'll go, okay. And he says, you don't have to do it alone anymore.
Oh,
Remember,
that's a big
you're not
step.
alone.
That's a
Yeah.
huge step.
And
It's hard.
that is really hard
It's
to let go and realize that you don't, because for almost 7 years now, I have had the whole responsibility. And people would say, well, you don't have to do that. It's like, you don't get it because you've never done it.
Mm,
But when your husband dies, everything gets thrown on you.
mm.
And now your responsibility. it's not going to fall. If it breaks or falls down, it's not going to be on you. It's going to be on me. Okay. So I have to take on the responsibility. But now I'm realizing that I don't have to take on the whole responsibility.
It can be shared.
So
Yeah.
it's really nice.
And it's okay if it is, but that may very well be a lifelong process.
Well, as it, yeah,
I think-
And
everything
that's
is.
okay.
I'm letting go. Yeah.
And that's
Everything
okay
is.
if it is, because you've been,
Strong.
as I say, alpha female,
Mhm.
trying to do it
I don't want
all.
to be an alpha female though anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of being an alpha female. And it's like I told him, sometimes I go to bed at night and I just literally crash because my brain is finally able to shut down and I can just relax. You know,
Yeah.
I've got this big strong guy next to me now.
That means the alpha female
nice.
found the alpha male, and so she can now be the softer female. And that is a wonderful
That's
place
right.
to be. That's what all women are
Yes,
looking
it
for.
is.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Bill, can I ask you about some past relationships, whether it's romantic or whatever it may be? I don't really care what kind of relationship it is, but
Yes.
well, let's talk about, what mark they kind of left on you that kind of related to when you got in with Kris, what that kind of looked like.
I've been married twice before. My first wife, I have 3 wonderful daughters with. You don't realize it at the time, but actually, I'll say it, my daughters brought it to my attention that mom is a narcissist.
Mm.
And then I went down the kind of the rabbit hole a little bit to learn more about it, and they're right. So the daughters understand. I understand it now. I was raised without a dad, as I mentioned earlier, at 10 years old. After that, I never knew my father. Being a 10-year-old male, the oldest in the house, male in the house at 10, I took on roles that I didn't even know I was doing at the time until many, many, many years later.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped me to survive with her because I had the 3 children at home. I tell everybody, I even tell my daughters, I stayed about 8 years longer than I physically and mentally should have because I was raised without a dad. I did not want them to be raised without a dad. And they all understand that now. They may not have 20 some years ago when we split.
Mm.
And then I did the thing that most men do is jump into another relationship back then.
Mm.
Within 3 months, I was living with someone and we were already doing things we shouldn't have doing. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
That was just absolutely horrible. She had a son who even now at 34 still lives at home with mom. And he's got a very good job. That's a whole nother scenario. But I learned, hey, you got to take time for you. You got to get out of this before. I was actually afraid I was going to be in the ground because I was in so much survival mode, so much frustration with the whole situation. And I look back, yes, I put myself in it. I didn't do what I needed to do for me to be good for anyone else.
Mm.
So three plus years ago, I made a decision to make that change for me.
Mm-hmm.
I went, like I said, I've been in therapy since January of 2022. I still see someone at least once a month for maintenance. At one point, I had 2 different therapists because I needed to be better for me so I could be better in a future relationship. I couldn't take baggage that I had from 40 years plus of being married to other people into any relationship. So I was single and working on me for 3 years. And I tell her frequently, our kids, well, we actually between us have 6 daughters now. So I've told all of them, if you don't take care of you, you're not good for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do that for me, I wouldn't have what we have today.
No, you wouldn't.
So there's some days I look in the mirror and I think I'm the luckiest man because I'm lucky I have anything. And when we met, I was ready. I knew I was ready. Why? Because I did the work.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do to be successful for myself.
Yeah.
And then I would
Then you're
eventually be,
Yeah.
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 I communicate better now than I have in the first 60 years of my life. So, yeah,
Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, Kris,
pretty amazing.
what did you tend to do or expect in a relationship prior to doing your inner work? Like what patterns or needs did you bring into the marriage with Bill that maybe were healed or unhealed that could have changed?
I had a totally opposite life growing up that he did. I had I had a mom and a dad, and my mom she was loving, but she was very busy, and I was the youngest. and unexpected. After 5 kids and 4 years later, then I came along. I had 2 brothers that took off and went to Vietnam, and an uncle, which is my dad's youngest brother, went to Vietnam. My mom was in the middle of major turmoil with that. My sister Kathy was childhood diabetic, and she had that on her shoulders as well. And so then here's me.
Yeah.
I had 4 big brothers and a dad that were phenomenal. Okay, and they raised me to be very strong and independent. But I had a mom and dad who shared. Nobody had a job. Like if my mom was at work and the house needed to be vacuumed or the dishes needed to be done, my dad did it. There was no question about it. He was that kind of a guy. If my dad was very, very attentive and very loving towards my mother. My mother never back talked to my dad, but not because she was ever afraid or anything like that. She did it because she respected my dad and she was in love with him. So I never had a confusing upbringing. When I got married, I thought that's what I was going to get, and I didn't. I was with a very narcissistic man who would tell me, "You don't get paid enough to think. This is my house, and you live by my rules. And if you don't like it, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out." When I moved to Texas with him, away from my family, he filled my head with a lot of lies. Your mom doesn't want you back. Your mom told me to take you away and never bring you back. I mean, he did that a lot. He was very, very emotionally abusive. He tried to be physically, but I was raised by 4 big brothers. That doesn't happen. So
You don't
I
mess with that
stood up
girl.
for myself a lot.
Good.
Don't mess with me. Exactly. So through my, we divorced after 19 years. Should have been sooner. So I wouldn't have raised my children and all that. And I wish I would have made that decision sooner. Unfortunately, you don't leave because you don't want your children raised without their father.
So
So,
wait, before you move on, I want to stop on that. Do you think, because both of you guys mentioned that now you stayed for the kids, looking back, would you
Yeah.
have made a different decision?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
I can tell you this, and I remember it like it was yesterday. 2 days after I moved out, I had 2 daughters in college, and they called me together and they said, "We have a very serious question to ask you." And one of them said, "What took you so long?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And the other one says, "What took you so long to leave mom? She's a horrible person." When you have kids that see that, and the day I left, we had a 12-year-old who is now amazing life.
Yeah.
Who, when I told their mom, I said, "Don't you realize we just don't get along?" And the 12-year-old at the time said, "You're right, you don't." So when you hear that from your kids that you tried to be the glue for so long, it's okay,
It is.
because there was no fighting with the kids about, "Why are you doing this?" It was, "What took you so long and you don't get along?"
You know, I met somebody recently who was dating a narcissist, just a horrible, horrible woman. I met her many times, don't like her, but she had children, and he said he was staying with her because he wanted to help those kids, and he felt real bad because they were being abused by her, not physically, but mentally. You know how narcissists are. And the child actually came to me. And after his mom had started a kerfuffle, he ran outside into my arms and said, "I cannot respect anyone who stays with my mom. I don't understand why they would stay with her."
Interesting.
Right. And this is a 10-year-old, or I think he's 11 or 14 or whatever he is in those age groups. There's 2 of them there. I can't remember which one was older and which one was younger, but they were under 14. Right. And that's what he said. And I looked at him, I said, I think you're right. It's hard to respect somebody who doesn't love themselves enough to walk away from punishment, to walk away from that kind of abuse, isn't it? And so that's what I see, that the children that young are already thinking that of. And so eventually, if the parent stays, they lose the respect of their children for having stayed. And I remember that in my own situation.
Yeah.
I used to beg my mom, leave my dad, because my dad was physically abusive with us. And we would say, "Please leave him." And she'd like, "No, I love him, da 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 da." And she stayed. I lost respect for her because of that. And don't get me wrong, I love my mom like with everything, and I think she's the toughest woman on the planet. And eventually they ended up with a great relationship, and all my love and respect came back and all of that stuff. But for a number of years, in my teenage years, I was very angry with her and disappointed with her because she stayed. And I thought, what are you showing me? You're showing me to stay in the hell.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting for myself and my own self-love. That's what you were showing me. And like, is that what you're hearing from your kids as well?
Yeah, it has been mentioned that Well, I see something right now going on that she'll never see the video, so
No.
she'll never see it. The
Once she
youngest, the
sees
one
it.
that was 12. Well, if she does, so what? I see it going on, a similar situation with her. Just staying. I mean, she takes care of the 4 kids 24/7.
Yeah.
Minimal, extreme minimal, less than 1% support from her husband.
Mm.
His only support is he makes a ton of money, and maybe that's what he thinks he's supposed to do. She works too, which makes no sense to us. But
So am I
I see
hearing you
it,
right?
and I think
I was gonna say, am I hearing you right that she walked away from a narcissist parent to a narcissist husband? Is that what you're telling me?
she. Go
I don't
ahead.
think he's so narcissistic.
I don't think he's
He's
narcissist.
just absent,
Okay.
emotionally absent.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think
He's not really narcissistic.
I can tell you, and I've talked with Kris about this. When she graduated high school, she did anything and everything she could to live on her own. She also shacked up someone who was just horrible. And then she switched to her current and now husband. And 3 months later, they were expecting. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
I can only suspect at the time that she was just desperate to stay away from
Yeah.
living with a parent at that point. At that point, I was already in with as number two and had my own problems there. And it was, if I had to believe and knew if she would actually ever one day tell me the honest truth, I don't think she would have done what she's doing. But now they've got 4 kids. She says she's amazingly happy.
Yeah.
They just did their 8th anniversary a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling that at that time in her life, she was just looking for somewhere to go and someone to protect her. That's raw dad right there. That's what that is. That's what I think. So,
Did after the divorces, did the kids get therapy, or was it just you guys that started to do the self-healing?
My oldest went through major emotional mental problems. And when you're a parent and you think, boy, did I screw up with my kids? I was very surprised that she asked me to go to one of her appointments with the psychiatrist, not her counselor, but the psychiatrist. And I went, and I was very surprised to hear the wonderful things she said about me, because I really thought, oh boy, here it comes. I'm going to get hit with both barrels. And to hear how she felt about me and how she felt about her dad, I was shocked. And I said, if this happened from negativity, is there anything that I can do to reverse it, to bring her back to my daughter that I had? And they said, you can keep the positive there, but let her, she's not going to be 100%, which was really heartbreaking. My middle daughter never went for counseling, but she's probably the strongest in all of them. My oldest daughter looked at me and said, I will make sure for the rest of my life that you never go back to him. My middle daughter, who never went for counseling, said, if you ever go back to him, that's the stupidest decision you'll ever have. I have good relationships with both of them. My youngest daughter, who listened to a lot of lies from my narcissistic ex-husband, said, is it something I did?
It's
like,
fun
no, this
how,
has nothing to do with you, honey.
yeah, isn't it
And
fun
she
how all
she
three
doesn't
have,
talk to me to this day.
oh my gosh. Yeah, it's interesting how all three kind of responded in different ways from the exact same situation, right? And they all took away something different, and it's according to the inner strength they had to begin with, I imagine.
Well, my two oldest look at each other and look at me and go, she raised? Because I don't think she was raised in the same house. Because she doesn't know anything. Yeah.
So I'll start with this one because it's the toughest, but yet the most proud, I guess.
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
say. My middle daughter, she was a full-blown addict for 17 years that we never knew. Talk about feeling bad as a parent.
Yeah.
To intense therapy, to finally getting a job again. She is 6 years plus sober. She's a badass. I'll just say it that way.
She's so strong. And she became best friends with my oldest daughter.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, they're best buddies.
And recently she has taken on they've only been together about a year and a half, her boyfriend who was just diagnosed with MS.
Oh, I have that.
So she's helped. Yeah, which we got to talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. What's some information from you?
Yeah.
I've got
So
lots.
My oldest, putting it bluntly, she is medicated enough so she doesn't have to deal with it,
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Okay.
with all the nonsense. She remembers nothing from childhood. And I will tell her
She prefers
directly,
it that way.
you need
Yeah.
to face it before it faces you one day.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's
And
just a matter
then
of
the
time before
youngest,
those meds turn on her, right? Yeah.
that's right.
and then the youngest, who's got the 4 kids, makes it a point every week to have 1 hour therapy.
No,
Good
that's
for
right. She
her.
does.
She
Good
can,
for
yeah,
her.
Cassie has
she,
therapy. Yeah.
Good for
yep,
her.
she started that about a year ago.
Mhm.
Probably about a year ago is when the girls really realized more that their mom is worse than she's ever been. So
I think it's also
been,
realizing the damage it does on you before it continues to
oh,
eat you.
yeah.
Right. And if we're continuously in the pointing the fingers mode, then we're not looking at ourselves and what it's doing to us. And so we don't get that
Yeah.
help. That's what I'm noticing a lot in people who aren't reaching out for help. They're still busy in that victim mode where they're pointing the finger rather than looking at themselves.
Yeah.
And inwards. Yeah.
To be able to get to this, I had to put my own self through turmoil to
It
release
hurts.
the turmoil.
Yeah. And that's therein lies the
Yeah.
rub, right? Because like if you're coming from pain, what do you want less of? Pain. Well, guess what? Healing means you have to give yourself a little bit more in order to be able to heal. You have to actually face the dragon, right? And that's the problem.
Yep.
Is that a lot of people, once they've already suffered that pain, they're like, oh, no more, no more. But by saying no more,
Yeah.
no more, you're actually going to give yourself a longer life of that same thing. It's the whole
Yeah.
story of the cow and the cow and the buffalo. You guys have heard that story before? Okay. So there's a storm coming and there's cows and buffaloes in a field and it's a really bad storm. And the cows see that storm coming. So they start running. They start running away from the storm because they don't want to get pelted by it, right? And as they're running and running and running and miles and days, they're running and the storm is just behind them. It keeps catching up. So they can't stop. They got to keep running and they're tired and they're draining themselves and they're tired. And next thing you know, they're running and the rain is right over them. And that rain is over them for a long time because now they can't outrun it anymore because they don't have the same energy when they started and they keep running and running. And then finally, they just have to stand there because they're out of energy and they're just being pelted by that storm. Hard. And they live in that storm for a very long time. But the buffalo, on the other hand, the buffalo went, well, fuck that. We're running into it. We're running into it right fucking now. And that's what they did. They just went poof right into that storm. They got hit by it, but they were only in the storm for 10 minutes because they were running at the storm at the same speed it was coming at them. So it crossed. And within 10 minutes, they passed each other and they were out of that storm. And that's the story of why you got to face your shit because it only lasts a little while. But if you don't, you live in it for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I did notice after I moved out of number 2, I had about 3 weeks, and then I noticed something. My physical pain wasn't nearly as bad.
Right. Yes. Your body's not punishing you anymore.
Talking through therapy, no, the weight of the world was gone. And this is before I even started. I went, no, it wasn't. No, it was right around the same time. But when I noticed the physical release, we'll say, just talking to my therapist, and he said, that's your body finally relaxing. You're out of the tension. You get that.
Yeah.
100%.
The same thing actually happened for me when I left the hospital because I had in 2019, I had, near death, all this stuff and really bad experience. And as soon as I got back to earth and realized that, I just had to change me. I didn't have to change all the other situations out there. I just had to change the way I react to everything and how I understand everything and how I deal with things. That's all I had to do. That was the only work I had to do. And when I realized that and I started to change me and I started to accept me for me as well and love me for me rather than for what other people were saying about me, because I was starting to believe the hype of what other people were saying, right? And as soon as I changed that, all the MS symptoms went away. The Crohn's symptoms mostly went away. Like, listen, I have no more bowels, so I have problems due to the fact that they took out my bowels, but everything went away. So the doctors are like, you're a miracle. You're a miracle. I'm like, I just healed my brain. That's all I did. And the pain started to go away as well because I was punishing me for the lifetime of problems that I kept hanging on to and refusing to let go of because I was a victim.
Yeah. And it helps when, like my youngest daughter listened to a lot of crap from my ex. Who lied about me to make excuses for his own behavior. Okay. Your mother screwed around with every boss. He left me for his boss. See what happens?
So he's
going to say things about me
that were his truth. Is that correct? Yeah. That's what narcissists do.
His truth is that he left me for his boss. And he told everybody that I was screwing around with my bosses, but it never was me.
It was always
I was going, what the heck is going on?
And that's what, people need to understand that about narcissists is that's what they do is they project their actions onto the person in front of them, and they hope everybody believes that, right?
Yeah.
And that's their
My
hope.
last big discussion with my youngest was, I will not put up with this anymore. I will not apologize anymore to you. I've already apologized for my part and maybe not leaving him when I should have and raising you in a bad outcome. Okay. But I will not apologize any longer for my life with Tim. And I'm done.
Good. But what did it take?
What you don't want to know? Well, because my daughter kept pushing and pushing and pushing for me to accept what I did.
Oh.
And I didn't know what she was talking about. And I said, Julie, there are things in my marriage that you don't know anything about, and you shouldn't, because it's none of your business. That's all I can tell you was it was pretty doggone awful. And if I told you, you'd never want to speak to your father again. It's not my job to do that. It's none of your business. So we're just going to leave it at that. And it wouldn't stop. I ended up literally picking her up, throwing her over my shoulder and throwing it out of my house because I couldn't. I said, I'm done. I can't.
So
I'm healed, and you keep bringing it back.
Right. But at what point in the marriage for both of you guys did you first realize that all those external fixes, like changing yourself, listening to other people, or controlling whatever, trying harder, when you realized that, well, that shit's just not going to work and I have to walk away? Like, what was that point?
Well, for me, I believe it or not, I even called my ex-husband the night before I was going to my attorney, and he was at his girlfriend's.
Oh my God.
And I said, you need to pack your bags. You need to come home. We have a family, and we need to go get counseling, and we need to work on this. And he said, I can't do that. And I said, well, I have an appointment with my attorney tomorrow. This is your last chance. And he said, will you do what you need to do? Now, here comes the fun part, Kris. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is this narcissistic or what?
So far, so good.
We walked out of court from our divorce, and he actually turned it on me and said, I can't believe that you told that judge that there was no way to fix this marriage.
What?
So it was my fault.
Oh, it must be your fault.
Now my fault.
It must
You're
be you.
kidding me, right? Yeah, it must be you. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
because you gave up. You stopped trying.
I've already went to counseling over him, and I'm just done. And you know what? I realize that you go through every relationship for a reason. Mm-hmm. And every one of them that I look at him and say, you know what? God was preparing me for him.
Absolutely.
Vice versa too.
And yeah. He cleaned up my soul for you.
Bill, what was your breaking point?
I turned 40 in October of 2004, and it was just a horrible day, a horrible time. And I said to myself, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. There has to be a better life, a better future. So I thought, I will know when it's time to go. At noon on New Year's Eve, it hit me. You're moving out tomorrow, buddy. You're starting over the new year.
Good for you.
I moved out January 1st, 05. Not a regret. Within 2-3 months, I was living with number 2. It didn't go well. It was not a smart thing to do.
Well, no, because you didn't work on yourself between 1 and 2, did you? At all. It was just jumping from one to the other as a fix.
Right.
And that's not the way to fix relationships.
No.
Or self.
And then we were together. We got married year and a half later, whatever it was. And I've had some shoulder replacements. I had one in late 2021, and it was just horrible. She says, I don't want to keep taking care of you all the time. Her son was living there still, not doing anything. And she was at work one day, and I sat there thinking, I got to do something. I can't keep supporting people that don't take care of themselves or me.
Yeah.
And finally I'll call it a facade now, but I did the facade of going to joint therapy for a few months. And then the whole time I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why the hell am I even doing this? And then one day at the beginning of the session, I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I am done. I will be out as soon as I can.
Well, because she said it straight to your face, and you chose not to believe. You got to believe people when they tell you the truth, right? I don't want to take care of you anymore equals I don't love you or respect you. That's what she's saying.
And
you didn't hear it.
So many heated discussions with her because her son wouldn't do anything a young man should do, and she wouldn't support me on any of it. So I realized, okay, this whole thing has been a mess since day one. Chalk it up to, what are you doing to yourself, Bill? I started therapy, and on the one show you and I did a year or so ago, I said, I can't go into another relationship until I'm good with me. In fact, she actually watched that show before we decided to proceed.
It really told me who he was.
Yeah, it was like he opened up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said,
from 2 marriages that they were one way before the ring was on and another way after the ring was on.
Yeah.
My second husband was not near as bad as my first, trust me. He wasn't a bad guy. He had some emotional problems from his parents, but he was not a bad guy. He took very good care of me. He did love me very much. But he ended up dying.
Yeah.
He got ALS and dying.
Yeah.
And
I bet not once did you say, I'm tired of taking care of you.
oh no, it was an honor. It was a
Yeah,
blessing to be able to
right?
take care of him and say goodbye to
Yeah.
him in 9 months.
Yeah.
So
That's love.
but when both of those brought me to a place where I was prepared for him going through those,
Mhm. Let's face it, we're both 60 plus.
Yeah.
I'm done. If something happens, we were talking about this the other day.
No.
What?
No.
No what?
Not gonna happen.
Oh no, that part, yeah.
It's
But
not an
I
option.
said we took a little
Oh, we took a test.
a little
That was
quiz
fun.
about what do we know about the other one?
That's
And
cool.
one of the questions was, would I try to find another person again if something were to happen to her
And I answered
in time?
in time, yes. And he said, absolutely not.
Because I know it would be a challenge to even find someone close.
Teacher, I have a
To
question.
find this, yeah.
Yes.
But what if the universe after she passes brings you even greater and greater, closer to where, like, I'm not saying she's not the
See,
greatest,
That's exactly
But-
what,
Yeah.
but that's what
right.
happens is
It's funny.
that once you lose something that you love, usually if you're open to it, the universe will bring you your next step in healing, right? And so
That's right.
that's what it will do for you.
See?
She
Yep.
told me that.
Let me tell you something.
She's
real
right.
quick.
I hate
This
to
is
break
not
it to you,
gonna
Bill.
take long. Oh, yeah. So we just talked about this because I'm going in on the 20th and having a hysterectomy. And you never know what's going to happen. So I was with somebody for 2.5 years before him. And totally unexpected. We were actually moving stuff towards marriage, picking out rings, picking out dresses. Okay. He's never been married, doesn't have any children, didn't move out of mom and dad's house till he was 32 years old. Wanted to save money and build a house, buy a house and so forth. But anyway, very good man. He was a very good man. We joked around. We had a great relationship. Always talked about things when they were this big rather than huge. He was a good communicator. Was moving stuff in, and he literally had a panic attack and said, "I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can have you move in with me. I don't think I can do this." And I knelt in front of my couch and prayed to God and asked him to please fix this. Please help me. Please fix this. Do something. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm happy. I'm in love. Why is this happening? But you know what? He did fix it, okay? Because when I was holding really tight to that teddy bear and going, please don't take it away. I love it. I love my teddy bear. He had his hand behind his back with this great big teddy bear and said, trust me.
There's a bigger teddy
Look
bear.
at what I have. I'm replacing it with something better. And here it is.
And that's
So
the
I told him the
secret.
other day, I don't want him. He's a wonderful man. If something happened to me and I was taken home, I don't ever want him to be alone. He's a good man. He's full of love. And I said, you need to be open and trust that if I was a big teddy bear at one point, you can imagine what he's going to have waiting for you.
Yeah.
And you need to be open to it.
She caught me off guard when she told me that. And I didn't have anything to say because she's right.
She is right.
You need
Yeah,
to
and-
trust.
Yeah, and after she passes, or after anyone passes, it's natural to go into a
Something, yeah.
depression, right? And so,
Oh, yeah.
whatever comes, just be open. Just be open to whatever comes towards you because it's to help you to
Yeah.
heal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys, during
Yeah.
your disagreements and times of emotional disconnection, what narratives or fears are kind of taking over your mind still, even now after you've done all this healing?
I don't think I have any fears anymore.
Good.
There
I don't
was,
think I do.
I will say this, there was a time where, I think we talked about this a couple months ago. I had something just slightly pop into my head about past relationship.
Uh-huh.
And immediately it was, this isn't who she is. This isn't who we are.
I think I remember that happening.
And I know since I went through the work for me, I knew how to handle it right away. I recognized it, put that fire out now and carried on. And then later that night, after we had done our conversation, I said, I had this blip. My brain quickly went back to a previous situation and it started to react the wrong way. And then I recognized it and
Mhm.
it took care of itself
Yeah.
Good.
because,
Yep.
yeah.
Now we're in a mode where something happens and we look at each other and go, boy, if this would have happened before with somebody
Yeah.
else, it could have gotten ugly. And it just doesn't get that way with us. We're not perfect by no means. We annoy each other, which is wonderful.
Yep.
Okay. You got to annoy each other.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you start thinking that you each walk on water, and that's
That's not
awful.
good.
Nope.
You're looking at drowning,
Yeah.
you know, and we're real.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. We're real. We don't bullshit each other. We don't play games. We wear our heart on our sleeve and we know it, and we do it feeling safe about it.
I tell people this is the easiest thing I've done in my
Easy.
life.
Yeah.
Why? Because I fixed what I needed to for me. Otherwise, this wasn't happening.
Oh, yeah.
It was just not going to happen ever.
Mm.
It would have been the same BS from 1 and 2 to 2 to 3 and whatever would happen,
Yeah.
and I wasn't doing that.
Our granddaughter just got married, and at the wedding, my ex was there. Yeah. And,
Okay.
and he got up to get cake, and he followed him up there. My ex followed him up there and kind of whispered in his ear, yeah, we need to get together and talk about her.
Mm.
And he said, no, we don't. No.
Did you notice, like I noticed for
Mm-mm.
myself, when I get around my siblings, I revert back to the same girl who was unhealed. Once I have a very difficult time not being triggered by the same things I was triggered from in the past. Are you noticing that same thing if you come in front of your husbands or your ex-wives or anything of that nature? Or have you grown beyond that where you could just heal?
No, I have learned over the years that the girl's mother, she is who she is. I don't have any triggers regarding her other than what the bullshit that she may say to the kids in my present, to our kids in my presence, because that just is wrong. But they've all told me, especially Holly. Holly told me this a few
Yeah.
years ago. If I was to, even when the girls were all living when they were kids, if I was to try to fight it and change it, it would have made it worse for all of them. And that caught me off guard. I was not expecting that kind of answer, but I realized it as soon as she said it, that's the type of relationship it was. But as far as triggers, no.
I think we both feel pretty safe.
Yeah.
That
With number 2,
yeah.
I've already told my girls, you do what you want. She's never to be at a function.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's
And
what
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be
though.
there.
Like
If you guys have any real,
that's growth. But if you were to be in front of that person, talking to that person, do you think you would revert back to some of the old behaviors?
no, and this is a good example. We were probably seeing each other a couple, 3 weeks, and I had already blocked her on everything, socials and phone number. She shows up at my door.
This was the second wife.
This is the second wife. I'm like, what the hell is she doing here? I'm like, what do you want? She starts ranting. And all I said to her was, you are not my problem anymore. What you do with everyone else is your business. And what was the one I says, I don't know if you're still seeing your therapist. If you are, I would strongly suggest you change because nothing has changed with you.
Yeah.
She says, well, it's none of your effing business. I'm like, it's right. It's not. Get out and don't come back. And she left.
Good.
No, I'm like,
Good.
what are you doing here? And it did. And I felt fine afterwards. I didn't have that pit in the stomach type feeling, that nausea feeling when I would have that situation previous. It was just, as a matter of fact, get out, don't come back.
Yep.
And I've seen her one time accidentally since. Cross paths in a store and so what.
Yeah, I agree with you where I've
I have no
developed
triggers.
that strength. Yeah. I've developed that strength to put the boundaries up, but at the same time, I have an urge to jump into the fire again with them until I have to stop myself. I have to stop and just get off the call or get away, because it can't be a healthy discussion with that person, no matter how hard I try, no matter how much I show I've grown, no matter how I explain my life, it won't matter because they're hearing what they prefer to hear rather than what the words coming out of my mouth.
That's it.
Exactly.
And I had to
Yep.
understand
That's
that.
what we just said.
No, your
Yeah.
story doesn't matter, but the other one's does. That's what they
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right on.
As far as my siblings, 2 of the 3 of us all agree
Mhm.
that it was a horrible, horrible situation when we were kids. One of them, somehow to this day, even though he's been gone almost 11 years, still thinks highly of him, and he was never around. He's the one that got left on the front porch in the dead of winter for 12 hours waiting for him to show up. Oh, he'll be here.
Nope.
No, he still thinks of him. The rest of us We don't know how mom's ever survived it.
So what
So-
tools did you guys even use to start healing? Was it just going to therapy, or what else did you use?
I don't know. Did your sisters go to therapy?
I think the youngest did. I think Patty did. Dawn, if I had to guess, no.
What
And
about
of course,
you
my
though?
brother, no.
What about you guys?
Me?
What did you guys use?
Oh,
Well, it started out, Fritz, my husband that passed away. We went to marriage counseling because there were things happening that just didn't make any sense to me. And through part of it, my daughter Christina came up and I flipped out in the room about he's more of a father to my daughter than my ex ever was. And I was so furious. And the counselor looked at me and said, I don't think you're over this. And she set me up with somebody else who did art with me. It was kind of unique thing. She gave me a heart, told me to pick out a color, and I picked a black pen and I wrote very furiously all the things that my ex-husband did to me and my children. And then she had me turn it over and or pick another heart. No, it was the same heart. Turn it over. Now I want you to pick out a color and I want you to write down exactly how you would feel if he would listen to you and if he would apologize for everything that he had done. And when I turned it over, I picked a pink marker and I wrote very slowly. And she said, Did you see how you handled that?
mm,
She said, Now turn it over. I told you to write down everything that you felt the way that he treated you and your children. And you were writing furiously and filled the whole thing. She said, How do you feel? And I said, Doggone good. Yeah. So that was one of the things that she had me do, but there was other things that in the counseling session with her. And then I had one time I had dated a psych major. He was a psych nurse. And he stood up and like literally threw it right in my face. Well, don't you know who I am? I'm Tim Hoffman. And guess what? You need to be thankful that I married you because I had my daughter Jenny at the time. I married you and I got you out of that situation. You need to be grateful to me because I'm this great guy. Do you understand? Nobody else did that for you but me.
Oh
And I
wow.
was like,
That's like boom, boom,
holy
boom,
shit.
boom.
It's exactly how he was. He goes, You needed to put right in your face,
Yeah.
Chris. Exactly what he
Yeah.
and I was like, wow. Yeah. That like wowed me. So little by little, things like that hitting me going, and then I got to the point one day where I just said, it just doesn't matter anymore. And what people think of me doesn't matter anymore. I just don't care. They don't know the whole story. They don't care to hear the whole story, but they really want to make me the bad guy for some reason. Gee, and it could be because he sat them down and told them a bunch of bullshit lies about me. So am I going to live that the rest of my life and give him the power? Or am I going to take that power away from him?
Yeah. And it can also be just that people don't want to give up the you that they knew before. Because knowing that you
Yeah.
healed
Yep.
means that there's something wrong with them. And so they want to hold you to where you were so that they can feel good about their little lives of not healing and not working on themselves. Right. And so that's that's also a trigger. Yeah.
And it's the only thing we can do is live our lives and
yeah,
And
do it
people are only going to believe what they want to believe.
yeah.
And the ones that really matter are going to look at them and go, wow, maybe it isn't the way I thought.
Yeah.
I
We've
find
had people that we really didn't even.
Oh, go ahead. You got people?
Well, Chris,
That's okay. Go ahead.
We've had people come up to us and say, they didn't even know us and say, You two look like the most relaxed and happiest couple we've ever seen.
that's great. And he'll go, so how long do you think we've been married? Oh, about 35 years.
Good enough.
And he always looks at me and goes, yeah, it's about right.
And when I tell people it's the easiest thing I ever
Yeah.
done, that's what it feels like.
That's
Because
what it feels like.
in reality, you ready for this? It was 165 days from first date to wedding.
Ah, look at you.
I knew before we even went on our first date.
So was that true
I
for your
did. It
other
was
weddings?
just-
Like, did you jump in to the fire with all the other weddings, or did you take your time going into those?
Took my time with, well, I was still in high school with the first one. Cindy, I lived with her for a year and a half before we got married. And I'll be honest, I may have said this in the first video we did. An hour before the wedding, I'm standing in the church asking myself, why the hell are you doing this?
Yeah. Why am I
What is
here?
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And then
your whole soul screams at you when you're taking the wrong steps. How many times in
Oh, yeah,
your relationships, in those unhealed relationships, did your brain beg you to run the other way, but you ignored it? Do you remember those
Did I say
instances?
that to you?
Oh, that's very good.
I said that to him. I said, you know, I said, you know, things really screw up for us when God is screaming in our ear to go in the other direction. You're not going where I want you to go. And we just don't listen.
Yep.
And if we just really stopped and listened, he tells us what to do.
Yes, he does.
And even though he was in the church, he had not walked up that aisle. He had not said those vows. God was screaming in his ear, this is not what I have planned for you. And you need to run in the other direction.
There was a point,
I did the same thing.
probably
I married
about
the wrong guy.
probably about
Yeah.
5 weeks into our relationship, and we were talking, and she said something about, I don't ever want to be hurt again like I was.
Yeah.
And I looked at her dead in the eye and I said, if you're going to end this, please end it now so I can go on and
Mhm.
not get any deeper into this, because
Yeah.
I knew then
Mhm.
that this is where we would be.
'Cause I was
And
still really struggling.
oh yeah,
I have such a different
And-
reaction
and-
when I hear people say that, because when I hear somebody say, I don't want to get hurt like I did before, I look at them, because I'm obviously a therapist. Well, what did you do to work on you? What did you do to change you so this never happens again? Have you done that work yet? Because if not, then we're not getting in this relationship right now. We're not
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
another step forward.
Yeah.
You're just bringing your past
Mhm.
ache to me, and then you're going to blame me because you didn't do your work.
Mhm.
No, thank you.
when
That's right.
one of our first phone calls was, she was struggling with trying to ask me a question.
Mhm.
And she says, I go to therapy every week. Is that going to be a problem with you? And I kind of snickered, as in, thank God, because
Yeah.
I've been in therapy at that time for 3 years, and it told me she's trying to help herself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the
Well,
right one.
The thing is, it was not too long before that that I had my breakup. That was very bad. And it was so weird. All these messages that he was throwing at me just constantly every day that I wasn't even asking for. Okay. I'd get on Facebook and I follow this guy named Mighty Mouse who talks about his own breakup. And why would you ever want somebody back that had so disregard for you that he threw you away with both hands?
Yeah.
There is somebody out there, lady, that is going to see your worth and they're going to grip onto you with both hands and never let go. I mean, this was every day. And then I told my sister, there's a guy out there and I know he exists and I'm going after him and I'm going to find him.
That's wonderful.
And I did. And it was the same time that I got this thing on Facebook with the teddy bear.
Oh.
And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So here he is. Because when he said, if you're going to break up with me, if you're going to end this now before we both get hurt. And
Sure.
I stopped and thought about it. And I listened and I prayed about it. And it was like, why? You know, why would I do that? Why would I want to end this? This is wonderful. This is calm. It's peaceful. I don't have to fight about anything. There's no confusion. He's everything I've ever wanted. And why would I ever not want this? And that's what kept me going. And then, so this guy that I was dating kept walking over here and staying, and then he'd go back to his house because he lives across the street. And I started having him bringing stuff over, and it was starting to make me nervous. Oh my gosh, this guy's not leaving. And so I talked to my son-in-law, David, and I said, oh, this is making me nervous. Should I be nervous about this? And he said, well, Mom, I'm going to give it to you from a man's point of view. Okay. When a man walks across the street with a little red bag with his stuff in it, and then the next day he walks back home with that same little red bag, that's a man that's not committed. He said, but when you've got another man who's bringing stuff over and wants to help you and be a part of your life, that's a man that's committed.
Yes.
He said, that's the one you need to hold on to. He's the guy. And there he is. And I've never really, I questioned because I was scared of getting hurt again. But he has just been true to form, and I feel safe. And
you know, it's that fear that has us hanging on to the things we don't want and fighting for the things we don't want. Like, how long did both of you guys fight for those marriages that you didn't even want to be in, but you still fought to stay there? You know what I mean?
yes.
Yep.
Oh, how many times was I saying, the hell is going on? I'm over here, he's over there.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be together.
So many nights,
Yep.
because after the shoulder surgeries, I would sleep in a chair. So many nights I'm thinking, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why do
Am I
I
here?
keep fighting for something the other one has
Your soul knows.
zero interest in other than financial?
Yep.
And once you start putting all these things together, once you have time to consider all these different obstacles, okay, it's time to fix.
Yeah.
Time to make a switch.
Yeah.
And
So-
absolutely zero regrets with that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. So you guys, what does your day-to-day healing look like together? Do you guys have rituals or reflections or inner dialogues that happen? Like what does the day-to-day look like for Bill and Kris?
We end our day every night next to our bed, praying every night together.
Yeah.
When we sit down to eat, we pray together. When we
Days,
start our days praying.
coffee and prayer.
Yep. We talk to, if something like Cassie calls us every day
Yeah.
and life is chaotic. It's prayer. Everything is prayer.
Was
We
God
just-
in your past relationships or just in this one?
The last guy that I was with was, he was
Agnostic.
agnostic.
Okay.
Was never raised with God at all. Was
Okay.
told his mom was kind of a free spirit and said, we're going to raise our children to make their own decisions.
That explains
well.
chaos. Yep.
That's not a parent, that's a buddy. Okay. So, but I still prayed. I still did my morning devotions. I still said my
It was
prayers
in
at
you,
night.
but not
I
him.
still
Yep.
have that. He even said prayers with me when we were getting ready to eat. He would put a cross on my forehead before I went to sleep at night.
Yep.
He was he tried very hard, but just didn't get there. He wasn't meant to get there, not with me.
What about you, Bill?
And I was more of a God-fearing Christian than my last husband who died.
Okay.
He
And then-
got there, but in my first husband, he became a Catholic because he knew we were getting a divorce. He was going to divorce me, and he wanted to marry her in the church because she was a widow. So before the divorce was even final, he was going to a priest and to getting our marriage annulled. And that's how he was. He fought me tooth and nail about raising the girls in the church.
Yeah.
And then when it came time for him to marry her, which he never did, and it's been over 20 some years,
Yeah.
then
He's
he
using
only
God
did
as
it for her.
yeah, he's using God as a means to an end rather
a
than
tool.
as the leader.
Yeah.
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 With the first marriage, no, there was no church. There was very limited God. The second one, she was Catholic. We did get married in a Catholic church, and that's where I was having all the voices. God's telling me, "What are you doing? What are you
Yeah.
what are you doing?" And then there was a time that I think many people have and don't even realize it, where, for lack of a better way to put it, I was kind of mad at something, and
Yeah.
I kind of just blamed it on God. Why is this happening?
Yep.
And then the best thing she says, will you go to church? The moment I walked in that door,
He wasn't
it
yelling
felt
at
like
you
a million
anymore, was
pounds.
he? Yeah, he wasn't yelling at you.
No, it was £1,000,000, and it's been
Yeah.
home ever since.
I said, would you be willing to go to church with me?
I didn't want this interview to go this way. It's not my intention, but do you feel that God makes a difference in your healing and in your relationship?
Yes.
Was this something that was lacking in the past for everything?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It
Absolutely.
was, I will tell you right now, the footprints,
Yep.
In the
it
sand,
was
that
then
one?
that I carried you.
Yeah.
That's how I survived my
Yeah.
life.
And I'm really big into that.
Yeah.
I have plaques in the house that say that, because whenever life is bad, I read it, because that's when it carried me.
As dark as my life was, going through all that I did on my own, I look back now and I think absolutely God was there carrying me, because there's no effing way I could have done that by myself. Not possible.
Yeah.
So when we first got together, actually, I think the turning point more for me making sure we prayed every single night, prayed together, was when we watched The Passion of the Christ on Good Friday.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
it's a must.
That
How do
was
you not pray after
And
that?
it's important to pray for each other.
Uh-huh.
You need to pray
yeah.
for your spouse.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
People don't get it. Like sometimes, like just the other day, we were walking and passing each other in the kitchen, and he just stopped, put his hand on my head, and bowed his head just for 30 seconds. And that's very important. People don't get that. Your spouse needs, for a wife, she needs to pray for her husband to keep him healthy, mind, body, and spirit. I pray that he always goes to him for anything when he's feeling weak, when he needs strength, when he needs compassion for all the kids, for our family, because we don't look at each other as he has 3 kids, I have 3 kids, he has 4 grandchildren, I have 3.
It's a family
Together.
together.
We have 6
Yep.
children. Yes.
It's a
We have
family.
grandchildren. We have son-in-laws.
Yep.
We're a family.
In
This
fact,
is us.
at our wedding, before we did our vows,
Yeah.
I handed to her daughters and she handed to my daughters a necklace,
Yeah.
bonus daughters.
Yeah, but it
Oh, I
had
love
something.
that.
You were born for me, and it was
Yeah.
very, very good. And that was his idea. I thought that was a nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah, because when there's
And-
integrated marriages, it's very difficult. I know my dad
Mhm.
married after
Yes.
my mom passed, and I did not accept those children from that. I mean, listen, I'm 105 years old now, so I'm all grown up. So when he came and said, "You have a new sister," I'm like, "No, I freaking don't. You have a wife with kids. There's a difference," I couldn't accept it, and he didn't make an effort to or they didn't really, because I guess they didn't know how either. To be fair, they just assumed once you have to accept everybody as you come in, but that's when hurt feelings are hurting. You sometimes you can't. It's a little bit harder, But
Yeah.
I've since changed and grown up. And I'm adulting now, guys. I'm adulting, and now
I get that. Yeah.
now I'm accepting them with love because I found God, and that was the difference between
Yes.
when they got married and me today was
Mhm.
God in my life, believing that
Yes.
he is helping me, and
Yeah.
it made all the difference.
Yeah.
And listen, before 2019, I was raised as a Roman Catholic, but I didn't believe in God because I was angry
I
at
understand
God,
this.
I get
right?
it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then until I had to
Mhm.
meet him in the flesh, because this is a stubborn cookie right here, until I had to meet him
Oh, yeah.
on a cloud with my mom. She had just passed away, and she took me to the cloud to go meet him.
Mhm.
And it took
Mhm.
that for me to understand. And all he said to me was, be love, show love, share love. And
Mhm.
poof, everything in my life changed. Because then I started to understand, I
Yeah.
have to love me first. I have to be able to love to myself, show the love to myself, and then share it outwards. And then my whole life will change. And guess what? He was 100%
Yeah.
right. And so now
Yeah.
I praise God in everything I do. And I talk to people
Yeah.
about God, and I'm spreading it because I understand the difference in my healing journey and my ability to heal.
Oh, yeah.
Before I accepted him and now. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Yeah.
If
Yes.
we didn't have God, we wouldn't have this.
No,
Yeah.
No, there's not a chance.
because he brought us together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
It
it.
was.
There's
Yeah.
no doubt. So like the girls' birthday cards, I write Dad and Christy, and underneath that parentheses, I write "wanna be mom," and they all laugh. I love that because I would do anything to be their mom, their
Yeah.
full-fledged mom, because they're wonderful and
We were.
so loving. And
Have you heard of Cedar Point Amusement Park?
I have not. I'm Canadian, so don't
It's
expect
the
that.
biggest one in our.
Okay.
Well, it's about an hour and a half away. So,
Okay.
I always walk at the back of the pack. There's reasons for that, which
Protection. I know.
keeps an eye on things.
You're the lead wolf at the back. I get it.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, and our youngest,
Mhm.
I don't know what the situation, but she just came over to Kris and gave her the biggest hug, and
That was Cassie.
and I just think
Yeah.
this would never happen in any part of my life with anyone before.
Oh.
Mm.
And I thank God every day of what he did for me and does, and what he brought us together here.
So what do you think the secret is
Pretty
to
cool.
opening up to that? Because a lot of people are struggling in their healing because they have that anger. What is the secret to then opening up to the God? For me, I had to die, and I'm not recommending that to anybody at all. So
Anybody? No.
no, don't go the hard way,
Fine.
guys. So what was your secret to opening up?
Don't be so stubborn. Realize you can't do it yourself.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Once you realize and then accept, you have to accept that I can't do this on my own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as I said a few minutes ago, I know for a fact that those dark couple of years, I wasn't going to make it unless God carried me.
Yeah.
I look back now and I thought,
Yeah.
how the hell did I survive that?
Mhm.
And then I think even deeper, how did I survive from 10 to almost 60 years old without God
Yeah.
active? And then I know, oh, wait a minute,
He
he
was
has been
active.
active.
I know for me, it
Yeah.
took a lot of realizing that I had to take responsibility for my choices because God didn't make those choices. I
Oh
did.
yeah,
And that was my
Yeah.
anger towards him,
yeah,
was my choices.
You know what? In everything that I've ever been through, I've never really gotten mad at God. I've gotten mad of churches, but I've never really gotten mad at him. When after my divorce, I was really upset at the Catholic Church because I did everything right from the day of conception. Okay. My parents were both very devout. My mother's Sicilian, my father's Irish, both Catholic, raised us all in the church, and went every Sunday, went every holy day obligation.
mhm,
And when my ex-husband left me, I said, so you're telling me that I have to go and fill out paperwork, and it has to be decided by a group of men sitting around a round table that I can get married again
Uh-oh.
because I have to prove that my ex-husband was screwing around on me?
yeah,
Oh, no, 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 no. I went twice to fill out paperwork, and I walked out and said, I'm not revisiting my divorce. It was horrible enough the first time.
yeah,
And so and I would sit in church every Sunday and cry during communion because I wasn't allowed to go up, and it was horrible. And then I met somebody, not by chance. He walked into my dental office, which didn't make any sense because it was in Toledo, and he lived in Milan. And he was coming all the way down here to go to the dentist. So there was a reason why that happened. I got to meet him and his wife, and I was going to the Methodist church, and I felt very comfortable. But he opened my eyes up to a whole different way of having a relationship with God.
Mm.
So Fritz didn't really feel comfortable there, so we started going to the Lutheran church right here, and I love it. But here's what got me. Fritz got sick, and every night before I went to bed, I said, "Dear Lord, please give me good rest so that I can get up in the morning and take care of my husband." Every morning I woke up and said, "Thank you, dear Lord, for waking me up and giving me good rest so that I can take care of my husband today." And it was a continuous thing. And if I would not have had him with me, I would not have made it.
Mm.
Because there were
I feel
times
the
when
same.
I would leave and run to a grocery store, sit in the parking lot and bawl my eyes out because I
Mm.
was just exhausted.
yeah.
But that was my definite turning point. Um, and I will not, my biggest fear now is that I will die and he will hide his face from me. But I don't think that's going to happen because of his grace.
Mhm.
I have his grace,
Yes.
and he's mine, and I'm his, and
We just talked about that this morning.
yep. And
Biggest fear is
yep,
dying without God.
without God, I need to have him
Yeah.
every minute of every day.
I actually just went into tears about that last night. Because I had a feeling I'd watched a thing that showed
What a great day.
what's going to be happening to Christians, and as the tribulation comes and all this stuff, and I was reading about that and how we're going to be all beheaded and all of this stuff, and I had a tear because I thought, oh my God, I should not talk about him anymore online. And then I started crying and I went, but that means I have to let go of God. And I don't want to ever do that again. Ever, ever, ever. And I
Right.
became stronger in my resolve that no, this is the light. This is where it's at. Like, this is what saved me. This is what turned me around.
Mhm.
And that was the only thing that
Mhm.
did. It doesn't matter how much therapy I had gone to before. It didn't matter how much I wanted it. Nothing was working because I was living without God. And I understand that as my truth today. And a lot of people out there are going to say that we're all full of shit. But you know what? Every single person I know who doesn't have God in in their life, is suffering depression, anxiety, anger
Oh yeah.
issues.
Can I
They're,
take a second
yes,
to step
please.
away? I'm full.
Oh, we're draining.
Oh, have a great day. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
that's okay.
I'll just cut
It's all
these
right.
pieces out here. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's incredible how life changes when you realize what's real and what was always the lie, to keep us
Yep.
locked into that lie, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And you may think that life is going great without him. I don't need him. Life's fine. But what even the devil can make you feel comfortable in a situation. Life's great. You have all the money in the world. You can do whatever you want. But once that door is closed, It's
Right.
locked.
It's locked.
And he
And there's
says,
this,
I've got you right where I want you.
yeah, and there's a story going, I don't know if you heard it, where God, that's why people get mad at God, because he's got all these rules and he'll punish you and all of this stuff. But the devil will give you everything you need, everything you've ever wanted in life. Make you feel like you're happy so that you feel so comfortable you never go and look for the truth until the very end
That's
when
right.
it's too freaking late and that door closes.
That's
like
right. And you
said.
say, what the heck did I do?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
if
too
you
late.
don't, if you're feeling happy and you're comfortable, then you have to remember to thank God every day
Yes,
for his
ma'am.
blessing. Because if you're calm and you're comfortable and you're living the life you're supposed to, then you need to thank him for it and not just keep on without him.
Yeah.
Because he is the reason
Yeah.
that you are calm and peaceful.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's I wish more people got it.
They will.
I keep throwing pebbles in the pond. Let's see what
Well, they
happens.
will, but we have to understand that again, it's a highway to hell, a stairway to heaven. So very few
Yeah,
are
it
going,
is.
are going in the right direction, and they're not meant to. And that's a lot of going back to fear and anger and hate. That's what most people are living with. That's what you had. That's what I had. We all had fear. I had a lot of anger and hate.
Yeah.
That's the story that they're telling you that you have to have. You have to question everything. You have to worry about everything. You have to, if you're not struggling hard enough, then you're not trying hard enough. Well, no, you're not even supposed to struggle. What the hell was that all about? That's
No,
all of that
you
is
were
just,
supposed to totally trust him.
yes.
Absolutely. You're
Yeah.
supposed to totally trust him. Fear not, for I am with you always.
Thank you.
And I have that. I over my front door, it says, be still and know that I am God.
I love that.
Because everything is impossible with you, but nothing is impossible through him.
Exactly. So I have one question for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did all this healing affect all your other relationships surrounding you? Now, both of you guys healed yourselves. How did it affect your family, your friends, your parents, if they're still with us? How did it affect them?
My parents are both gone. My mom just died a year ago. She was 103.
Oh, wow, good
And
life. Good genes.
I think you have more calm, you have more compassion, you have less me and more you. You know what I mean? It's less me. I don't need that. My need is to show you my love. That's all it is. I need to show you. Everything, everyone needs to see the change in you, not what you say is the change in you, but to see the change in you.
And it takes time.
To believe that you have. Yeah, and it takes time.
It takes time for other people to let go
and-
of that past version of you, right? So it takes time.
Yes.
Like that's what I'm
Yes.
struggling with
And
right
you
now
know-
is that my family can't see the new Christine. They're only seeing the past Christine. So that's the struggle because they keep trying to bring me back to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm not her anymore. Like you can't keep
Mhm.
treating me like that. But I have to understand that
Yeah.
they don't know this woman. They don't know her very well. They haven't really met her. They
No,
haven't
they
given her a
don't.
chance. And so I have to allow them the
Yeah.
time to come around and to know me. And I have to prove it through example by living the life I want, by
Yeah.
getting the successes I can get, by trying harder, by working harder, by just being myself and working at it instead of pointing the finger at them and why aren't you? No. It's not about that. It's about living in my truth.
That's right.
And then showing it through my vibration. And then eventually they're going to feel that vibration. Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier for them, it makes them feel empowered if you are still this broken Kris.
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
that they can try to fix.
Yeah.
So it makes
Or
them feel
chastise.
empowered.
Yeah.
Yeah, or chastise, yes. They're the bigger person. They're the ones that aren't broken.
Yeah. And it's
If they can keep you broken, they're not broken.
yeah. Yeah.
We had a handful of people that kept reminding us, I thought you guys were going to go slow.
Yeah, we tried.
My mom finally got it after about 3 months?
Yeah.
She says, there's a change in you, Bill, that I've not ever.
Yeah.
You have a glow. You have there's nothing that really bothers you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I didn't. And I think the best part that helped me immensely didn't help me realize, I guess you'd say, at our reception, my brother's speech.
Oh my gosh. That was wonderful.
He says at the beginning, I kept asking him, he would call me because he was concerned. Aren't you going too fast? Aren't you going too fast? And he says during the speech, he kept calling me every day. My big brother kept calling me and Diane, his wife, every day and saying, I can't believe how good this is going. It's amazing. And he said, after my brother heard it a handful of times, and he's seen it more than that,
Yeah.
he said, "There's no doubt that God brought these two together."
Yeah.
I love
In
it.
fact, as we went to a veteran dinner in the spring, and they came with us, and before they even left the parking lot, I get a text message from his wife. She's going to make me a good sister-in-law one day. Certain things like that you don't forget, especially when your brother, who the whole time was saying, "You're going too fast, you're going too fast," and then he admits he saw it right. He saw it after seeing us together a couple of times.
He said, I saw it when I saw her turn to my wife. It was Diane. Put her arms on her and kiss her on the forehead. He said, I saw it right there. Said she's different.
She's real. I have we have a 3-year-old granddaughter, but before you came in the picture,
Zuri.
she would latch onto me when she saw me and not let go for 20, 30 minutes. Now I'm lucky to get any time with her.
Because Kris took it.
This one. And that's okay. I just look back and I just smile. And I never dreamed this was even a thing.
Yeah.
Never even possible.
Last weekend we were there.
Yeah.
And she came into the kitchen after she woke up and she jumped on Papa's lap.
Oh, yeah, she just hung out with me.
And was just loving on him. And I said, isn't that nice that you can have Papa and Nana? It's nice, isn't it? That you can love on Papa too. Because, Papa missed you. He really loves Zuri's little lovin's. And she just kind of looked at me and shook her head.
To see my 3 daughters interact with her, and I've got it from a couple of them that that's been the easiest thing they've ever had. They've ever done is
the easiest
meeting her and moving forward.
Yeah. It was almost scary, Kris. It was like when I met them, it was almost indescribable, but the only way to say it, when I met them, it was like seeing my daughters for the first time. That's how easy it was. I instantly fell in love with them.
The oldest daughter,
Tina.
Your oldest daughter, our oldest daughter.
Yep. She was at the.
Please think. Go ahead. I can't say this one.
I know.
I can't.
It was at the farmer's market with him. I wasn't there. I couldn't go. And they were at one of the vendors that knows him really well. And she looked at it. My daughter looks just like me, only she has brown hair. Okay. And she said, "Aren't you with Bill?" And she said, "That's my dad." And that was awesome to hear. Yeah. And that's my oldest daughter. They said, "Oh, that's my dad." So that was really wonderful.
That must have just warmed your heart, hey, Bill?
Oh,
yeah. I won't deny I had a couple of drops.
Yeah. I'm almost having a few drops just hearing the story.
Well, and then we moved to Holly and her boyfriend about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And when Jenny and David stopped in the evening, I went to run and get pizza for everyone. And I walked in and David said, "Those two are just like twin sisters."
Yep.
Holly and Jenny.
Oh, yeah. They instantly connected.
And I'm eating my pizza and I just paused.
Yeah.
And I looked around and I thought 6 months ago, none of this was even a dream.
Possible. Yep.
And now the reality in front of me is
absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's times I can't even describe it. I just can't do it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Pretty doggone awesome.
Life is great.
To our audience, this is what healing looks like. This is what it looks like. You get gifted by the universe, something fantastic like this as soon as you've done the work on yourself. And you won't get this until you work on yourself. So that's, if you need any other reason to start working, be it love. Make it love. Love is the reason why you're going to start working on yourself so that you can find that love for yourself.
Exactly.
And you can find the love elsewhere. You guys have a message for our audience
You
to
have
leave them with?
Oh,
Take care of yourself first
yeah.
before you try to jump into another relationship.
Yeah.
Because if you're not any good for yourself, you're not any good for another person.
That's right.
Exactly.
And communication is always the key.
Yeah.
Communication and God.
Yes.
And always talk to each other when it's this big, not when it's this big.
Yep.
Never wait.
Because the bigger it gets, the harder it is.
Yeah. And if
Never
somebody's trying
wait.
to, if somebody's trying to
Something bothers
silence you, it's sick. Yep.
Yep. Verbalize it right away. That bothers me.
Mm.
Let's talk about this and heal when it's that small. And it's absolutely. And before you speak, God, I'm going to screw this up. So please help me say what needs to be said.
I always go to the third
Happens
fourth
every
thing in my
time.
head.
Take care of yourself. Allow God in your life.
Yeah.
And it will happen.
That's right.
And it's the most beautiful thing ever.
That's right.
So
That's
Well,
right.
amen to that, guys. Thanks for coming on my show today. This has been fantastic. It went in a different direction than I expected, but you know what?
I know.
I
I
love
was
this
thinking that the
conversation.
whole time we were talking, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes God leads you in a direction of things that need to be said.
And I think right now
You
in
may think
society,
you know it needs to be said.
yeah, this is the conversation that needs to be had. People need to understand that they need to bring God back. They need to work on themselves. And
Yes.
and before they even jump into another relationship to destroy that one, they need to work on themselves.
Yeah.
That's the main message that we
That's
have to
right.
take away from this all. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
it for today's show. Thanks for being on. And everybody who's watching today,
Thank you.
all you need to know is to be love, show love, and share love. That's what God told me on the
That's right.
cloud, and that's all you need to do. All right, take care, everybody.
That's right.
Peace out.
Take care,
Thanks,
Chris. We'll
Chris.
see you on the cloud.
We'll see you on the cloud.